is what it's termed.
Yeah, could you also tell us about libel and slander, what's required there, and what, I guess, kind of the characteristics of those items?
In essence, the core of all of those causes of action is the official adoption or making of an untrue statement of fact, which has a detrimental effect upon an individual's character or basically, that's kind of it.
Knowing all this, and some of this has come to our attention, come to my attention late, within the last hour or so before the meeting began. So, after receiving the advice from legal counsel, is there anybody that wants to make a motion on action, appropriate action to be taken regarding this resolution, which would be 1908?
I do have one last question for the city attorney. If there is a motion and a vote on this resolution this evening, is it in your opinion that it would open the city up to a potential suit for libel or slander?
Can we say city or city officials?
Or individuals on the city council, personally?
Well, I really can't. My duty is to the city as a whole, so I couldn't advise people individually. There is one statement. I mean, the linchpin of a libel or defamation claim is an untrue statement of fact. And I did look at the resolution for that purpose. The one statement that gave me some pause, but again, it's, it ultimately would have to be, I think, kind of vetted out through an evidentiary process, is the third whereas clause, where, based upon what Councilman Fodovich said at the last meeting, it says, whereas Mr. Fodovich has relocated his family to a new primary residence in Olathe, Kansas. If Mr. Fodovich's position is borne out to be fact, from what he said during the last meeting, then that could be an untrue statement of fact, I suppose. In a public reprimand by a governing body based on Mr. Fodovich's claim, I mean, that's got to stand. Yeah, to me, we can deal with the libel and defamation issue, but based upon my review of the procedural issues, I would have more of a concern of a procedural due process claim, because we have adopted Robert's Rules of Order. They have set up this procedure, and if we don't follow that procedure, which has been adopted, then it'd be a pretty sound claim for a procedural due process violation.
So what do we need to do to initiate the due process provisions?
Well, according to the Robert's Rules of Order, the first step that they've got there is to refer it to a confidential committee, confidential investigation by a committee. Now, you can do that if it's deemed to be a personnel matter under Kansas Open Meetings Act. But I think if we're really going to explore this further, we should probably that would be what Robert's Rules of Order dictates, but if we're really gonna explore this further, we probably ought to lay out a specific process by which that's gonna be followed, things of that nature.
I've got a question for, and I'm not sure if you were here the last time we had the presentation. We had a very nice attorney from Kutek Rock that came on the behalf of Midwest Public Risk that talked about, risk associated to the individual council members if they're, I wish I could remember how they phrased it, but it sounds like what we're talking about, given what we know that we're hearing from Ryan. I worry for the members of the governing body that might take this action based on the information we received in that meeting. And Mary or Cheryl, do either of you have a better recollection to speak to the liability of individuals in situations like this?
Well, I'll speak, and you're certainly welcome to chime in. We really haven't talked with NPR about coverage on this. You know, they've told us basically kind of not following the correct laws, procedures. You know, they mentioned we don't follow that. We have coverage issues. And that's one of the first questions they ask if we get a claim, but we have not taken this specific issue to them to ask about that, so we don't know if we have coverage for individual council members.
Larry, you have a question?
Yes, Ryan, if, what about the comment that Councilmember Roberts made that what I'm doing is immoral? Is that a defamatory comment?
I can't really render anything on that. I don't have enough information.
Yeah,
That's a subjective statement, it's not a statement of fact.
yeah. Anything else?
Well, I'll speak. At this point, since there is some kind of ambiguity and we're not quite sure, I feel that a vote for the resolution or a vote for the censure might be pointless at this point. I know I personally gave my personal opinion. I feel like Councilman Rashid has too. I think that was the primary thing, is we voiced our opinion. I don't know if we need to keep at this. I would hope at some point it works itself out. That's kind of my take on it right now. I'd like to just move on maybe and.
Well, and we could take a vote to.
I mean, not necessarily move on with this, but just move on in general. I think I voiced my personal opinion. I think some others have. I know the audience has voiced their opinion. At some point, it's just, if we keep, I mean, I don't know what benefit it is if we just keep, then,
Does council not want to take action on this, or does council want to take action to not approve the resolution? Or does a council member want to make a motion to approve the resolution?
I make a motion to withdraw my resolution, understanding there's not support on the body for this, plus there's some legal questions regarding it, so I would like to pull this off the table.
Second.
Motion, Shute, second Harrison, that we remove new business item number 2 from the agenda. Any other questions or comments?
I do. I have a question. Well, not really a question, but I have a comment. I still hope that the individual on the dais that has been fighting this so hard begins to try to listen to the people in this room and does the right thing because it's the right thing to do, and doesn't continue this stubborn charade.
I do have a email from Councilmember Freeman. Since he wasn't going to be here and it doesn't look like he's here yet, I'll go ahead and read on his behalf. My apologies for not being in attendance this evening. I hope that I might be able to move us beyond this issue, help move us beyond this issue. As shared in previous discussion, I find it entirely inappropriate and largely irresponsible for Councilmember Fodovich to continue to